Hello! You're listening to Working Class Nerds episode 50. So, in typical Working Class Nerds fashion, when we recorded this episode live, our computer decided to use the microphone on our webcam, which is substantially lesser quality than our studio microphone setup. So, the audio isn't quite as nice as we typically have it. That being said, I think Julia has a little something to say before we start the show.
Working Class Nerds episode 50.
Hi, I'm Marcus.
And I'm Nick.
And we are Working Class Nerds.
Where the podcast that gives you no information about your favorite information.
Today is Thursday, August 1st, 2019, and you can find this Big 50 podcast on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, and Stitcher. And you can also find the both of us on Twitter. I am at MarcusB814.
And I am technically at Nick Vern. That's NICKVERN. In this week's episode, we're celebrating our 50th episode of the podcast, and also breaking down our next game studio, Nintendo. Nintendo is the company that started both of our gaming careers, so we wanted to highlight them for our 50th episode. Speaking of which, Marcus, now that we're on episode 50, are there any specific moments or episodes or clips, potentially, that you remember fondly, or maybe not quite so fondly?
Well, I love them all. The big one for me was we went back and listened to the first episode, and if you ever think of somebody that's really stuck up and that sits like super proper, like this,
Yeah.
I feel like I was like, "Hi, I'm Marcus.
Oh,
Hi,
the
I'm
first
Nick.
episode? The first few? I know.
We're Working Class Nerds."
That was rough.
And when we released the first episode, I was so proud.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, "Yeah, we got a podcast, man. Woo.
We did it.
We did it."
And we, prepped for, a
And then-
bunch of hours.
Yes. And then we listened to it, and we were like,
Oh, boy.
"This is terrible."
Exactly.
And
It's so
I'm trying to
remember what we talked about.
Oh!
Hey, shout out to Star Wars The Old Republic.
Hey,
The Old
Dan.
Republic.
Thanks.
Official,
Wow.
thank you.
And they will be on our show next week. Details to come.
Yes.
Thank you for the big shout out. Anyways, so
First episode wasn't great.
yeah, so and then there was like a fan in the background. You heard the squeaky chair
Chairs, yeah.
from my computer chair. You know, and I never thought we would get guests on the show.
Right,
I thought it was always just going to be us.
right. And then, people express
Slowly.
interest. And,
But there was only one time that I was offended by a guest.
yeah.
It was when Brian came on from the Bad Feeling podcast, and on his next podcast, the first thing he said, "Well, I did a charity podcast." I went on Working Class Nerds, and I did charity.
That was
They
rough.
didn't deserve me, and I was just like, "Oh my god, what a kick in the butt."
Yeah.
Um,
That was
so-
fun, though. No, Brian's episode was fun, though. Episode 10.
Yeah,
Gummy Power.
and gummy power. But I would say the fondest. It's not the fondest memory because we've had so many awesome guests,
Yeah.
and
And lots of reoccurring guests,
But
which we'll get to in a minute.
the biggest thing is in the background. Nick and I have had some ups and downs in the show. Like
Right.
there's been a couple episodes where I'm like, man,
I don't want to do this.
I'm talking about this stupid DC movie, and like, who watches DC movies?
Right.
And then there's been times where I'm amped up on Farmhouse Blend coffee. Oh, there I go again on coffee.
Right.
And Nick is like,
I don't want to talk about
Yes.
this again. Yeah.
like, how many times do I need to listen to you week after week talk about how you've died at Dread Fortress for 6 months? Like, enough.
Or
Move along. These are not the ops we're talking about. Move along.
Move along.
Move along. But no, really, the big shout out is to Nick, because in the background, I set up all the stuff. I run the Audacity. I
Yep.
do all of that stuff.
Yes.
Nick handles all the post stuff, and I
Like
did
the editing and all that.
I did the
afterwards.
post stuff once.
Oh, it was real bad.
It wasn't real bad. Come on, like you can't.
It
just,
wasn't real good.
No, it wasn't real good. It was not real good, but it wasn't real bad. I mean, it was bad, but it was passable. But like,
Yeah.
if anybody listens to the show,
Like,
which I can't believe people actually do, you could tell that it was bad.
Right.
So anyway.
It was a different person editing.
What about you, Nick?
For me, well, of course, episode 1, it's just, even the early episodes, it's just funny to hear how uptight we are. And you're exactly
But you
right.
are uptight.
I'm not uptight all the time. I try to be, like, professional, but, like, especially when I'm reading, like, the intro stuff, I try to enunciate things properly, or if I'm reading something, like an update for SOTOR or something like that, but, yeah, I like the live episodes a lot. I like being silly on them and, like, I don't have any cosplays to pull out today,
So,
but
all right, so
those were fun.
The real story on the cosplay and the stuff, we had big plans, but because I got hurt at work, I gave
tough.
Nick the phone call yesterday and was like, hey, are you working today? Meaning today.
Right.
And he was like, no, why? And he immediately regretted saying, yes, I'm not working. Because I was like, good, because you can come to work and carry cabinets, because I'm hurt.
Right.
Oh, Storman, thank you.
Hey!
But anyway, so what were you saying, Nick?
So I was saying how I enjoyed doing the live episodes a lot. I think we just have a lot of fun on the show with the guests. It's nice to be able to, like, come and talk about things that we're super duper into. Whether it's, obviously we talk a lot about SOTOR, but all the other games too.
My milestone, so my favorite...
In the movies and the TV shows, just being able to, like, have a place where you're creating the content. And then, obviously, I guess other people like it. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. But, which is still surprising to me. Okay, so Max in the chat goes, I could really use some Play-Doh. I wonder where I might be able to get some. Mainly because Marcus has 3 drawers full of Play-Doh on the camera in the background.
I have a 3-year-old and a 1-year-old. Well, the 1-year-old doesn't play with Play-Doh yet. I wish you guys could see what other chaos is going on everywhere.
Oh yeah, it's Kid Town. That's like
Bonanza.
The least kiddie section.
All right, so here's my question: is what's your fondest moment?
Ooh, number one fondest moment. I don't know. We've had so many. Just like we're just laughing. I think when we had Cocos and on for live.
Oh, and Lady Ran.
Yeah. Cocos and Lady Ran on an actual episode, but also Cocos live from Star Wars Celebration was cool. That was like a little bonus tidbit, but that was cool to just have them on.
I thought you were talking about soft taco talk.
That episode was fun too, but
Make me a Gmail account, Al.
Oh yeah, I had to make Al a Gmail account and to get him on the show. That was fun.
Teaching people how to use Gmail
and like
in 2019 is the best.
That was fun.
That was a power move.
Getting people on the show. I think it was cool to have a professor from my school on the show. That was pretty fun too.
So
to like have somebody that I didn't think was related to our typical guildies and normal guests that we have on other podcasters.
Right. Well, for me now.
Yeah.
My favorite moment in podcast history with you is the day I got you to actually get hooked on Star Wars.
Oh, and
actually get immersed in the Juggernaut class story.
Oh, and I came back on and was
and then drag you into mandatory fun night because you were just on one night.
Yeah, I was happily playing story. The story.
And then
on my own.
And then Max dragging you into the Gods from the Machine SOTOR Unite run.
Yep. that was ugly also. I think did I make it? No, we got all the way to the last boss, I think.
Right.
And then they couldn't carry me anymore.
Yeah. So anyway, 50. Wow. So
yeah. I mean I really like all the movie reviews are fun too.
Yeah. With our
resident movie and comic book expert Ari.
And our Masterson of movie reviews.
And our Masterson of movie reviews Dan.
Thanks, Doc.
Appreciate it.
So, before anything else, we're going to shout out to all of you who came on the show and supported us.
So, yeah, all of our guests that have come on the show and contributed to the Working Class Nerds. Several of you have come on more than once, like I know Dent, Dr. Sotor, Ari, and other people who I'm going to forget, but we just have everybody listed.
And we want to say thanks.
And we want to say thank you. So, thank you to Dent.
Thanks, Doc Sotor.
Thank you to Brian from Bad Feeling Podcast.
Thanks, Ted from State of the Old Republic.
Thanks, Ariel.
We love you.
We do. Thank you, Albus.
Thanks, Bishop.
Thank you, Sakari.
Thanks, Max and Seema.
Thank you to Scrubland Chat.
Thank you, the Utinicast host when Doc came on with Chill.
Exactly. Thank you to Derek Brinkman, developer of Legends of Aria, who came on the show.
Thanks, Nazir, coming on a couple times talking PvP.
Thank you to Eric Musco, community manager for Star Wars: The Old Republic.
B Cabs and Zen.
Thank you to Ted Semi and Dan Kinia.
Lady Ran and Kogas for the Soft Taco Talk.
Thank you, thank you. Also, thank you to Sam from Sith Talk and Dr. Redden from Yukon.
Nick Arafino from our favorite game at PAX East. But last but not least, he may be the biggest pain in the rear, but we sure love him. Good old Medulla. And Storm and Norman, we were never going to put you on the show because that would just be botchery.
That would be, yeah. Thanks, Dad, for not coming on the show.
So,
great.
Anyway, so Nick, what have you been doing this week?
So I graduated in May, but I finally just this last week got my diploma in the mail.
And he's been worried sick that, like, he graduated, but he didn't actually graduate.
Like, okay, so it's August 1st, and I just got my diploma last week, so like 5 days ago, or 7 days ago, whatever. Yeah, and I graduated 2 months ago, so that's a long time to, like, let doubt creep into your mind. It's like, oh, did they fuck something up, or was it like something, the exams not scored right or whatever, and it's just a long time to like sit.
You were just worried you failed.
Yeah, but I mean, I knew I didn't, but like it's just a long time to wait for that piece of paper that you've been spending that time and money on, The
money, all that money, and that diploma takes 6 months to get to your house.
I know, it's kind of BS. I'm a misspelled
brain
medulla, right? I think
See, this is the thing about the whole like live
Chat.
episode. I'm just gonna get lost in it
because
every time it ticks. But anyways, so you got your diploma finally.
Yep.
So it's real. You graduated. Whoop, whoop.
Yep. It officially says Nicholas Bernadakis.
And now
has a Bachelor of Science from the University of Connecticut in physiology and neurobiology.
I don't even know what that means, but I haven't known what that means for 2 years. So, have you been working more?
Yes. Well, not a whole lot. So I've been working, but I'm on my like actual schedule. What?
Should I call you lazy now?
No, not yet. I work, so my normal like 16 hours part-time gig, but I picked up more. I picked up a whole 12-hour shift Tuesday of this week, and I'm going to be picking up more so I can have some more cashola, because I saw my paycheck this week and I was like, yikes, that's not the same as when I was working full-time.
Yeah, and Medulla just told me I'm never going to get the Wings of Architect. You're right. I probably will never, because I'm terrible at the game, okay? He suggested I go on to the PTS to get the Wings of Architect, just so I can have it in something in the game, and I said, no, it's not the same thing. Anyways.
Back at the ranch. Also last week, which kickstarted me to start playing this game more, Ari, my sister, and I were just messing around playing games on the Switch. I plugged in Dragon Ball Fighter Z, which is like kind of like Marvel vs. Capcom, where you have 3 players each and you can swap in and out.
Mm-hmm.
And she kicked my ass 10 matches in a row. She won 10 and I won 0.
Does she know all the moves?
She knows literally nothing. She exclusively mashed all the buttons, and she with like a couple of them, I straight up did not even get a single punch in on her. She just murderlated all 3 of my characters.
But it just proves the point that like fighting games, you just mash buttons.
Yeah.
And you win.
Absolutely. Especially that one.
Well, yeah, Marvel vs. Capcom, there's no talent. It's just mash buttons.
It's just mash all the buttons. It's the same thing with Dragon Ball Fighter Z. I like the game, though, so I have been playing it. And to get a little retribution after she beat me 10 matches in a row, I plugged in Mortal Kombat 11, and then that was real bad for Ari. But we only played 2 matches, because that's not fun. It's funny when the little sister who doesn't play video games and has no idea what she's doing beats the brother who does know what he's doing.
So you quit?
I quit. I quit playing Dragon Ball Fighter Z and switched to something I knew I was better at.
Oh, that's the best.
She made me rage quit. I play a little Mario Kart too. Nothing too crazy.
Okay.
I've actually not been playing a whole lot of God of War. Not on purpose. Just I've been playing the quick games, like getting in and out.
Yeah, sometimes those are the best, and it's summer.
Yeah. So I don't want to like be stuck in the dungeon with the PS4.
The dungeon.
Just playing games. But also, so now the past couple days I picked up Dragon Ball Fighter Z and I've been playing. Actually, I have it in front of me here.
Oh my god.
I've been playing on the Switch, like in my room and stuff because it's so portable. It's nice.
And
I've been
so
playing the story
during the
mode.
pre-show before we went live, all I heard was the sound of Goku powering up as it was sitting on the table. All it was wah 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 wah. I'm like, dude, I'm trying to finish this thing, and he's like, what are you talking about? Wah 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 wah. I'm like, oh, Spirit Bomb's coming. Anyway.
It's really fun though. I'm playing the story and I'm like actually know what the heck is going on. It's fun. That's about it for me for in-gaming stuff. A lot of Dragon Ball Z, Fighter Z. Oh, and Siege. I've been playing a lot of Siege.
I heard it's really good.
Honestly, if you want to play a shooter that's not just like running gun like a Call of Duty, and it's a lot more tactical, play Siege. It's still there. Tons of people play still. I know it's an older game, but the graphics still
Right.
look good, especially on PS4 and or Xbox or whatever.
Xbox.
I don't understand if your computer can't handle it, but it's still really fun.
Right.
So Marcus, so last episode was the operation. It was pre-surgery. How's the arm feeling?
Hurts.
Yeah.
And I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Yes, you are.
Okay, so the doctor.
Normally I defend you, but in this case I agree with your doctor.
Well, it's because you witnessed it today.
Right.
And so the surgery went well. Everything went well. I just can't sit still. And it's really hard for me to sit on the sidelines. And my doctor, because I thought I messed it up, and I kind of did.
You definitely irritated it.
Yeah, I definitely did.
By overworking.
And
you hit the muscles and stuff.
yeah, and he walked into the office and asked me if I was a idiot. And doctors usually don't talk like that, but we kind of have a history because I talk shit to him the minute he walked through the door of the office. Probably a bad idea to do to your surgeon, but
yeah,
it's just who I am. And it's all love, but, you know, whatever. Anyway, moving forward. So I took a week off, and I started playing the Switch in bed because I got the Pro controller.
Mm-hmm.
And it was actually convenient because I could lay the controller on my belly and play. So it worked out well. And it was great because you can put the Switch on a kickstand and it's like a little screen, or you can put it on the TV. It's a win-win.
I really enjoy the Switch.
So I've been playing Breath of the Wild, and I've been going through fighting all these things, but I forgot all of the special moves, like the bullet time, like slow motion.
Right.
So I'm getting hit by these things. I'm just terrible at video games. I should just quit life.
And you also didn't know that you could roll out of the way. Like you can dodge their attacks.
Yeah, I'm okay. So I'm not great.
Also, you didn't know that you could get a shield. Like you can block their stuff
Who uses
too.
a shield?
In Legend of Zelda, you need the shield. They use it for everything.
Well, this isn't the original. Well, anyway, moving forward. So my last week I came back, and the Mega was Saturday night.
Mm-hmm.
I've been planning this one for 2 months. It was the 1-year anniversary of Mega.
Right.
So Mega is our monthly Epic Guild activity for the AIE Guild, and it's super duper fun because we always do fun. Every month is a little different, and we do fun things. But this time, I wanted to do the Ancient Threat on Yevon 4.
Right.
And I heard it's really hard, and it was. But we got 8 people together at 8 o'clock, real world time, and all of us got all the buffs we needed so we'll have 8 chances to pull the boss. And then we had a full group of 24 people because that's what we heard that we needed to do.
Right.
So when we did it, we didn't win, which was okay, but we learned a lot, and it was a lot of fun. And we had some donations of some amazing prizes. Amazing. Mal, Zen, and L&D, they donated some, the Black Die pack, awesome cartel packs.
Those are really expensive.
There was a decoration bundle that was donated that was sold on the GTN for 110 million credits. Wow. Now you say 110 million, that sounds like a lot. It is.
Yeah.
And I got 100 million credits from Medulla. And
because Marcus won a bet.
Yeah, I won a bet, and it was great. So But what I'm saying is the event was awesome. Some of these trivia questions I came up with were insanely hard. Like I didn't even know the answers to them. Right? And all of a sudden,
Wait a minute. So how did you get the answers? Did you have to go? You looked them up?
Yeah.
Oh,
I Googled ridiculously hard Star Wars trivia questions.
Okay.
And so I was like, these are really good prizes. I'm going to ask hard questions. Everybody knew the answers.
Wow.
And I was just blown away by it. And I'm kind of strict with my trivia rules.
Yeah.
Like, if the answer is Mace Windu, you need to type Mace Windu.
Yeah.
You can't just put Mace or Windu.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And everybody kind of yelled at me because I'm like, you have to spell it right too. But
Yeah.
everybody yelled at me, and I was like, okay, I can give that one up.
Yeah.
But
That's fair.
it's got to be the whole thing.
Yeah, but Mace Windu's not that hard to spell. It's
Right.
like it just M-A-C, like.
Yeah, but if you're typing fast in chat and you misspell,
That's true.
you know what I mean?
You put like an
I
I
have
instead of a
look at
U.
these fingers. These things are huge.
Yeah, I've got sausage fingers
Yeah.
too.
And I have the fastest 2 fingers on the East Coast typing. So
Oh, you graduated to the East Coast? It used to be fastest 2 fingers in Western Mass.
yeah,
Like
exactly.
the cat meme.
Anyway,
GIF.
so we had so many so many prizes. That was awesome. And that kicked off the AIE Summer of Love event, which we're going to talk about that in a few minutes. So I'll kind of explain that again, what it was.
Later.
Yesterday or 2 days ago in the mail, I got my Boba Fett mug.
Who sent you that?
Ted did.
Ted?
So, all right. So the story of Star Wars Celebration was my chimney fell down.
Yeah.
I couldn't go because all the money I was going to Celebration with got soaked into a chimney.
Right.
Essentially. All I wanted at Celebration was this Boba Fett coffee mug. It's
Right.
ridiculous. It said like Fett's beans and stuff like that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. Why I wanted this coffee mug, no idea.
Well, you're obsessed with coffee. It makes sense.
But I don't like hot coffee.
That's true. You drink iced coffee in the winter,
Correct.
which is
Anyway.
a little strange.
No, it's normal. So so I guess if you listen, Corley will tell you that the stores were the Star Wars store itself was a mess in Chicago.
Really?
So they reopened the store to anybody who had a pass. Well, Ted, who had a pass, signed in and bought me the mug because they reopened the store and,
Oh, nice.
and that was available.
Sweet.
So anyway, I got my mug. I'm super happy. Thanks, Ted. And congratulations to Ted on his big 100 episode that was released 2 days ago.
Wow.
Or a day ago, or today maybe.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Especially because Ted kind of does it solo, right?
Yeah, he's like the NPR of podcasts.
I know. He talks so smooth.
Yeah, he
Sounds
is.
so great.
It is Milestone Week, Doc. There's so many milestones that are going on. My milestone of the week was I beat Dread Palace hard mode this week.
What?
And, yeah, it's crazy. Anyway,
So, have you been? Oh, sorry. Continue. I see you have more Star Wars things.
yes.
What happened with Mandatory Fun Night?
So this week, continuing the Summer of Love,
Yes.
the Mandatory Fun Night, we did a Datacron run, which, congratulations to B. Kavanaugh. He rallied cats to get, I think it was Corley Dent and Zen, to have 14 tunes planted all around the game to get 14 Datacrons.
That's crazy.
Yeah, that's some work, like, to be like, hey, can you go to this planet and get every single Datacron and put a tune there? Like, if he asked me, I'm like, I could probably do one.
Right.
Because I'm terrible at platforming in Star Wars.
Okay.
Because,
Yeah.
like, it doesn't have a controller, so, like, the whole keyboard and, like, the spacebar thing, terrible.
Oh, see, I'd be good at that.
No, I'm terrible.
Because like I'm used to trying to climb the mountains in Skyrim. It's basically the same thing.
Yeah, so, there's that.
Doc, get out of the chat with your logic and reasoning in your comments.
Oh, my heart.
He goes, isn't NPR the NPR podcast? Yes, I know. Yes, they are also. a
I just
podcast.
sigh.
Back at the ranch.
Okay, so, my last thing is I'm completely addicted to the Switch.
I can understand why.
I love it. And the way I won was I bought Carrie the Mario game
Yeah.
for it, and she loves Mario. 2D Mario,
Yeah.
and she loves it. And now, hey Zen,
Hi Zen.
and
I appreciate it, Dr. Sofer.
yeah, and and she loves it, so now, like, it's my go-to. I've bought, like, 7 games for the thing.
Oh my god.
And I play a little bit of all.
You've played 2.
No, I've played them all. Oh no, I haven't played the 2 new ones yet.
Oh, okay.
But we're going away this weekend, so I'll play some more. Anyway, so in SOTOR news.
In SOTOR news, next week on
Exclusive. Exclusive.
Breaking news. Working Class Nerds exclusive. Thursday, August 8th. We'll be having both Eric Musco and Matt Pusevich on the show to discuss operations in SOTOR and hopefully get some new info on the Duxon, which is in the new app. Sorry.
App.
I got excited.
Yeah.
So we're having both Eric Musco and Matt Pusevich on.
Right. So
next week.
we've been working on this for a while. No, not Super Mario Maker. Super Mario U.
Yes, the 2D one.
Yeah, the 2D. It's got like a bunch of levels, and you can be the pink toad.
It's the
and you can turn it.
Mario.
You turn into Princess Peach.
Yes.
It's good.
Also,
Anyways,
hi Feta. That's Joey Feta.
Oh, hello, Feta Cheddar. So August 8th, we have the devs coming on the show, which is super special. And we are going. So the last time Musco was on, it was really fun, and I'm hoping we extend that fun to Matt Pusevich.
You're right.
But I definitely want some answers.
Yeah, we gotta. You have to answer the questions. You can skip and come back if you want to, but eventually, we'll poke it out of you.
Yeah, but it's going to be really lighthearted. We're going to talk a lot of operations on how they're made and like how they come to make these things and like what is favorite, blah blah blah. We're going to find out if you really eat Swedish fish for breakfast, lunch, and dinner as well. But the biggest one is talking Duxon, and hopefully we get some exclusive something about Duxon that has not been released. Maybe cool. Confirmation that Kefis is coming back. I don't know.
That would be cool too.
Anyways,
obviously they're probably not going to be able to say anything about like 6.0 or anything like that, but it doesn't hurt to try to ask.
Right. So the PTS for 6.0 round 1 and round 1.5 was released this week. I have not been on there yet.
Because you have RoboArm?
Yeah, and if I'm playing the game, I'm not going on the PTS. I'm going to do an operation.
That actually counts.
Yeah, and my arm really is killing me.
Right.
So, anyways, something cool that popped up on July 30th, which was 2 days ago, they did like a little making of Onderon and talked to the art director of the game. Nick, you want to break down a little bit of this?
Yes. So, it says the making of Onderon. With the upcoming launch of the Onslaught expansion this September, one of the new planets players will be able to experience is Onderon. With Onderon already having a wealth of mythos behind it from Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic 2, which was like an Xbox 360 game, if I remember right. We sat down with our art director, Carrie Mead, to pull back the curtain on bringing this iconic planet to SOTOR. So they brought back the art director, or they sat down and had an interview with the art director.
Correct.
To talk about how she went about making Onderon real, which is pretty cool.
Can you read the next section? Because this is pretty sweet to me.
Yeah. So for the first question they asked, for starters, what is your role here on the SOTOR team? And she answered, on the SOTOR team, I function as the art director, which means I am responsible for organizing and running the SOTOR art team, as well as maintaining the artistic vision for the project. I help with troubleshooting, brainstorming, idea generation, problem solving, team scheduling, swag creation, and general game editor whispering.
Maybe we should get her on the show. If she's creating the swag, maybe we can get some free swag.
That would be sweet. What if we could get some like exclusive armor or something that had like a little WCN on like the chest plate or something? That'd be cool.
We should talk to Pusevich.
Yes.
Or have him put like a Working Class Nerds like poster in one of the operations.
Yeah, just like
a hallway.
In like a back hallway.
Yeah, can you just say WCN? Why not?
Yeah. Doesn't have to be big. Anyways, that'll be questions for the pre-show.
Anyway, so basically they break down the Onderon, bringing it back and all that. We won't read all of it, but it's a really good read. It shows some good pictures of planet, like the concept art of Onderon. And
just breaks down like how they go about like developing the artwork for a new planet.
Yes. So
like that.
Nick, can you read the last one? Because I think this one is pretty
Sure.
affects all of us players.
The last question.
Mm-hmm.
So it reads, okay, last question. What are you excited for players to see while traversing and exploring Onderon? And she answered, the whole thing. The planet, the characters, the creatures, the story, and the gameplay. I hope the players have as much fun enjoying the planet as we did making it. And then they said, thank you for all of your time, Carrie. If you'd like to see more news about the Onslaught expansion, be sure to keep an eye on our newsfeed. So that's cool that they
And tune into Working Class Nerds next week.
Absolutely. Yeah, I was gonna say it is. I see what you mean. It's cool to know that like the people working on the game and working on the art in this case they are fans of Star Wars and this universe too. So it's cool to see that they also care.
For sure.
So, do we have any guild news?
We do. So Summer of Love is in full effect.
Full swing.
There's been things going on all week. I don't have the picture of what's been going on, but in all of the major MMO games, AIE's been doing some awesome stuff. Mm-hmm. I know that we did the kickoff for it on Saturday for the Mega, and then SOTOR did their mandatory Fun Night special edition for it on Tuesday. Excuse me. And then tomorrow, which is August 2nd, is our Remembrance Day for the Guild. Mm-hmm. Remembrance Day, so some years ago, long before I became AIE, there was a member named Milliways, I think, and he was like founded the guild with a bunch of other people, and he passed away.
Right.
And some of the guildies were shocked by this because it was the first time you ever lost somebody in the virtual world. But you don't realize, like, some of these people that I play games with, or you play games with, it's like, even if you don't know them personally, like, you know them.
Yeah.
And then you find out they pass away, that's gotta mess with your head a little bit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So they created this day every year on August 2nd. In all of the games, we all get together. Everybody is in one Discord voice channel. And we just talk about, like, if anybody in the guild we've lost, or maybe if somebody wants to talk about somebody that they lost this year, like Nick and I lost our grandma this year, and it had a big impact on our lives. So, you know, it's an awesome feature, or an awesome event that the guild does, because it lets you remember the other side. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
And then, Nick, do you want to announce the next Mega date?
I do. The next Mega will be August 23rd. That's a Friday. Friday.
9 p.m.
9 p.m.
Real world time.
East Coast time.
Real world.
And what are they going to do? Kill Max.
Yeah, I think we're due to spend a little time killing Max.
I think you guys are overdue.
Yeah, overdue. I mean, I don't think we can do it enough.
Hey, I just realized something.
Mm-hmm.
To backtrack to thanking our guests, I didn't thank Al, and he's been on twice. I missed his name in the chat in my list here.
Well, you're a fail. I wrote it.
I know you wrote it, and when I copied him over to make it more readable, because your typing is a little bit messy, I totally forgot Al. So thank you, big shout out to Al.
Yep.
Thank you so much for coming on the podcast, not once, but I believe twice.
And
making a Gmail account,
so,
and downloading the Google Chrome and all that fun stuff.
Anyway,
back at the ranch.
So I don't need to use the bathroom, but I know you do.
Well, wait a minute. Don't you think that if all this sounds fun to you, listeners, they should go to aie-guild.org, jump in the disco, and ask...
Disco?
Jump in the disco!
Alright, sorry.
Jump in the Discord and ask for a guild invite. Whether you play SOTOR or any of the other games that we play, or that you play, or that AIE people play, there's people playing the game that you play in AIE, and we'd love to chat with you about it.
And if you pop into the AIE Discord, jump down into the Working Class Nerds channel and say hello. Yeah, so the...
also, hi, Rec Evan, in the chat.
Oh, hey.
Don't crap on disco. Hey, we weren't. We were celebrating disco.
Wait until we have the soundboard.
I know.
And we'll have the fist pump music just by a push of a button.
It'll be great.
Moving on up. Anyway.
So I do actually have to pee.
Okay, so go.
So we'll be right back. And we're back. So today we're continuing our Game Developer Spotlight series with Nintendo. Nintendo has been a huge part of both of our gaming lives, and still is today. So I wanted to go through why we chose Nintendo for our episode 50, because we started with Bethesda, and we're going to do some other studios as well. But we thought out of all the game studios, Nintendo was the most appropriate because, like I said, we both started our gaming adventures with Nintendo consoles in some capacity. Like the first piece of real gaming equipment I ever got in my whole life was the old gray brick Nintendo Game Boy, the original one.
See, I played the original Nintendo,
Yeah.
but my first system that my mom bought me
Super Nintendo
was Super Nintendo. And yeah, so we've been debating on what we were going to do for episode 50, and then we were talking about how Max and Seema did this big show for their 300th episode, and we were like, oh man, we better talk about something sweet for the 50th.
Yeah.
We can't just do just a normal show and let it go by the wayside.
Right.
So we were like, we have to talk Nintendo because everybody in this chat and everybody listening to this has played a Nintendo game.
Right.
Whether you own a Switch or anything, every single person here has played a Nintendo game.
Right.
Like Mario was it.
Yeah.
Duck Hunt? I mean, come on.
Duck Hunt, Mario, Legend of Zelda.
The original cheat codes for Duck Hunt was put the gun to the screen and you killed every duck, right?
Yes, I remember that.
So
you walk right up to the screen and it registers the whole screen.
What is Nintendo?
Nintendo.
I just can't even. He's trolling so hard today.
I know. He's in full troll form. Yeah. I appreciate it though. It's really funny.
Anyway, so needless to say, Sega was better. Wait, you're telling me Echo the Dolphin was better than F-Zero? No way.
No way. Sonic does not hold, although great, does not hold a candle to any of the other platforms from Nintendo.
See, this is why we can't have a chat.
I know. Don't Nintendo. They will flag you on YouTube unless you pay them. Meh, it'll be fine.
Are you serious? Well, I don't care because we're gonna put out a podcast. Let them shut us down.
Yeah.
Because we say the word Nintendo.
Yeah, sure. I don't think we'd get flagged and pulled within the next hour.
No.
Of the live show. That's the only thing we care about. We're here for you guys.
Wait, people review Nintendo games all the time.
That's true.
So anyway, back to this whole thing. So needless to say,
hold on. Are you seeing this? Phantasy Star is better than Final Fantasy?
I'm just done with it. Anyway, so bringing us back to Nintendo. So this is where it all began. So if it was, for the both of us. So if it wasn't for Nintendo, we wouldn't be doing this podcast.
Absolutely.
I would say there's two factors for me: Nintendo and George Lucas.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
yeah,
there's I wouldn't have done. So this is it. So Nick said his is the OG Game Boy, mine's the Super Nintendo.
Right.
But there's so many things.
I gotta tell. There's so many fun stories for things that Nintendo related. So, the first of which I'll go through. So the first actual Nintendo thing I had was the Gray Brick, the OG Game Boy.
Right.
But then later in life, much later, I wanted to get a real gaming console of some kind. So. Back then it was the GameCube, the PS2, or the Xbox.
The GameCube was awesome.
The original Xbox, yeah. So when I was looking at the games, I was like, oh, you know what? I really wanted to play Super Mario Sunshine. I wanted to play Mario Party. I wanted to play because one of my friends had it. I wanted to play Zelda, Wind Waker.
Yep.
And the biggest factor, I was like, look, all the games for the Nintendo. The Game Boy, they aren't violent. There's no bad games. They're all games for younger people like me. And I must have been 9 or 10 or something. I don't remember. And
so that's how you sold your parents on it?
There's no shooting games or anything like that. And then that's how I sold my parents on the Game Boy, or sorry, GameCube, to get me a GameCube. And then that Christmas I got one. And then sure enough, the following Christmas, I think I was asking for Call of Duty for the GameCube. It was Call of Duty Big Red 1 or something like that.
Yes.
It was Call of Duty 2 or 3 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was funny. And then my dad played it too. It was great. Melee.
So
Super Smash Bros. Melee!
Well, and when you think of Nintendo, what's the first game you think of?
Mario. Well, yeah. Mario. The game that I actually play a lot would be Legend of Zelda, of course. A whole bunch of them.
See, I've played a lot of games. I think Nintendo.
Yeah.
GoldenEye, baby.
Oh, for N64?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, that was... And then whoever got the golden gun was like God, because it was one shot,
Yeah, exactly.
And that was the first game where, like, you had to, like, go with 2 sticks.
Yeah.
Because it was always just a D-pad to walk around, and you always faced forward.
Right.
But that was the first time, like, you could do, like, the whole, like, twist around and stuff.
Yeah, and no, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the sticks, like, you could change, like, nowadays in a first-person shooter, you're always aimed at the middle of the screen, but in GoldenEye, if I remember right, you could move, like, your cursor, like, all around the screen, almost like a mouse, right?
Yeah.
Which, that's kind of tricky to play.
Yes.
But that's
But
cool.
so I just remember GoldenEye. The game's so good, and for years, all I've wanted somebody to do is remake the game.
Remake GoldenEye?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they remade it, and it wasn't good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was on the PlayStation 1 or PlayStation 2. And
Yeah, but
they
that's
just
too
ruined
soon-
it.
That's too soon after that.
Right.
You need
But
like
somebody needs to remake GoldenEye.
like an HD, a real remake.
No, just remake the game.
Oh, so you can play it on like your computer,
Or even
Steam
on the
or whatever.
Switch.
Yeah,
Give it to me on the Switch.
I'll play it on the Switch.
But anyway, so bringing us to the games,
Yeah.
right? There's so many games we could discuss. Before we even break down what would you call what Nintendo has done? Like,
Innovate.
yes.
Yeah.
Like, before we even get into the innovations, think about the games that they created
Like just themselves.
just themselves that are bigger than us or anything.
Yeah, they're
Like
giant-
PlayStation,
giant
PlayStation, and Xbox, their games don't even compare to some of these games.
And they have-
Zelda, Mario, Super Star Wars, Super Mario
All
World,
the- all the
FC
Smash-
Original,
the Smash
all the
Brothers series.
Castlevania.
Right.
I mean, it's endless.
Mario Party, Mario Tennis.
Well, that's just Mario, yeah,
all the
but
Wii
like,
Sports and all the Wii things.
oh my God, the Wii! I didn't even think of the Wii.
All of that is all exclusive content and brand new.
Right.
All of the I had one other one I forgot. Well, like Duck Hunt was pretty cool back in the day.
But that's what I'm
It's,
saying.
Like
Like,
innovating with things like that, like the laser gun with the TV.
yes, it's just you think about all these games that they've come out with, and how big these games have been, and they've influenced everything that we play now has been influenced by that.
Right.
How about
Like
Excite
Metroid.
Bike?
Talking about Excite Bike.
Excite Bike. That
Yeah.
was you created your own dirt bike track
Right. That's so
in
cool.
1986.
Right. That's
Like,
crazy.
That's what I'm saying, on a cartridge.
Right.
And then at some point they released the Game Genie,
right.
where now you could
cheat codes.
Yeah, cheat codes. Like Nintendo did it all. I wish there was cheat codes for SOTOR to like make me like not die.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I put a
do.
Game Genie in for SOTOR so I could get like not die in an op.
That'd be great.
Yeah, but they don't. They ban that now.
Ugh.
Like cheat codes are like frowned upon now.
Oh, how dare they?
Like you were cheating in Pokemon.
Right? Oh, I love cheating in Pokemon.
That's what I'm
I
saying.
use all the Game Genie and Game Shark codes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's called mercenary.
Uh,
But no, but seriously, I mean, I remember. Okay,
There's so much. I
and-
have so much respect for all of the like not individual proprietary, I guess, like content that they come out with.
right.
You know,
Yes.
I forgot. So Metroid, along with Castlevania.
Oh my God, Metroid.
Kirby, all the Kirby games.
Yes.
That's new.
But like that's what I'm
F-Zero.
saying. Like there's been so many things, and then the other thing.
Fire Emblem.
No way. The only ABACABB blood code. Mortal Kombat.
for
That's
Mortal
Sega,
Kombat.
though. So anyway, so the last thing for me, before we get into more of this, because I'm just rambling,
Yeah.
is we're going back to a time where games were released completed,
Right. Because
Right.
there's no internet.
and if there was a bug,
it was
you
in
like
the game.
it's in it. It's it.
Right.
So NHLPA, the NHL game in 1996, there was a bug where if you did a what is it called, a wraparound goal, where you
Yeah.
go around the back of the goal,
Yeah.
it was a goal every time. So like you'd play with your friends and your friends would do it and you're like, all right, you're cheating. And he's
Right.
like, it's in the game. What do you mean? They intended for you to score like that. So everybody would just try to go around the goal and just do wraparounds
goals
and win, goal, the goalies couldn't stop it.
That's crazy.
But that was in the game. But now you look at games and look at Anthem.
Right.
Like,
We love BioWare, but
no, but like the game is broken.
right.
And think about all the games that get released, broken. Destiny 2, broken.
Right. Or like have crazy bugs. Or
Yeah, and
a lot of Bethesda games.
Right.
We never talked about that actually.
But
yeah.
And then they have to update them to fix them.
Right.
So what's going to happen in 10 or 20 years when you want to go back to Fallout 3 and the servers are shut off to update it?
Well,
and
you're going to play now.
Well, no, well, because if the servers get shut off to update it, so if you put it in an old system and it's not updated, you can't update the game, so you're going to get launch version. It could be broken and not playable.
That's true. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that is true.
So I have super respect for all of the old consoles.
Yeah.
Hey, I said it right.
Yeah. You nailed it. Because they had to ship the games perfect.
Fixed.
Yeah.
And done.
Right.
Now, is it the game development studios?
Well,
are
they're
rushing?
probably also more complicated now, which doesn't help. The games are. There's a lot more factors, I feel like.
You think so?
Yeah. Well, I mean, you just look at like how large the games are. There's more data. Like games fit on like a few megabyte cartridge.
It's just
probably not even a megabyte.
Dude, if you can put Breath of the Wild on a cartridge,
that's true.
That's this big.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about complaints about updating a game. Okay.
It's
and
true.
like getting a game complete, because that's a complete crock of shit.
Yeah.
Like, tell the big development, like the big publisher, to wait unless. Why can't they just release a game that's done?
Right.
Like, so what? Like, I'm gonna throw SOTOR under the bus, a little bit. Like when SOTOR delays their updates, I don't care.
Right.
Because I would much rather the update come out fixed and no bugs than have it full of bugs and listen to people complain about it.
Right.
Because what do I care if it comes out a week late? Like they're saying the new expansion's coming out in September. It's coming in November. There's no way it's...
I wouldn't mind if it came out in November.
Yeah, because then it's done, and it's done right.
And
but anyways.
it's polished, perfect, or whatever.
So talk to me, Nick.
So I want to talk... So obviously, I have several, like, just nostalgia, like, memory things that I want to go through. But before we do that, on a more technical note, another big reason that I wanted to highlight Nintendo, and another reason why they're so popular with a bunch of people, is because they always seem to be innovating and putting, new design features into their products that set them apart, like, than from their, more technically superior competitors. Like, for example, the Wii obviously couldn't keep up technologically with the 360 or the PS3, but the motion controls are awesome.
But dude, think about the TV companies that made money off of the Wii.
Right.
Because controllers ended up in the TV.
I didn't even think of that. But like, okay, so like
they tell you to wear the strap for the reason.
Right. So I forgot all about the Duck Hunt, like the gun.
Yeah.
Like that was a new Nintendo thing.
And do you know how that worked? It was all about flash off the screen.
Off the glass screen.
Yeah. And now those screens don't work like that.
Yeah.
Like these. So like you can't
TVs.
play Duck Hunt on a new TV.
Right, because they're not glass anymore. So like the Duck Hunt gun, for example, or I was thinking, I've listed the third arm of the N64 controller. That was new, like having 2 analog sticks.
Yes.
That was innovative.
And the buttons on the bottom?
Right.
The Z button?
Which turned into like the trigger for all the other controllers.
Yes.
I know some of the older controllers had shoulder buttons, but that's not the same as like having a trigger like that.
Good night, Medulla.
Good night, Medulla. So also the touch screen on the DS was new for a handheld. So like nobody else had put, even the PlayStation, not the Vita. What came before that? PSP, the portable.
PSP.
Yeah, that wasn't touchscreen, I don't think. So like the DS came out with you had like a stylus and stuff, and you could.
Yep.
They had all these innovative games. Like I forgot, there was a Wario one. I forgot what it was called.
And there was a brain game too.
There was a brain. Yeah, it was like just all these crazy little mini games. You could like scribble things and like connect the dots. And you had 10 dogs. You could pet the dogs. So you have this new technology, and they come out with all this cool, like, cool games and products to go with the new technology.
Yes.
Obviously, like I said before, all the crazy motion control stuff with the Wii, that was a big risk.
Well, right, but like going to the screen, like they learned from the original DS, because those screens got messed up.
Yeah, they got mangled. I had one of those.
Because people were like digging the pen in, and over time the screen was just getting destroyed. So how did they fix it? They were like, let's make the screens 3D with no glasses.
Right. Yeah, exactly. The 3D technology on the 3DS. Who the hell's
Amazing.
thinking of coming up with that? For
Like I played
game?
it. Like some
A
people,
handheld.
some people couldn't handle the 3D.
Yeah.
But I could. I thought it was amazing.
It's great.
Castlevania Mirror of Fate. I remember playing. It looked awesome in 3D.
Yeah.
Awesome.
More innovations.
Yes.
So you have all the crazy motion controls on the Wii, and then so the Wii U was a bit of a swing and a miss, but I think it led us to one of my favorite consoles ever, combining a handheld and a console with the Switch, which I have here for that reason. That's
Okay.
one of Marcus and I's favorite pieces of technology ever.
And I'm gonna go. Can I say something about the Wii U?
Yeah.
I think what happened with the Wii U was it came out 2 years too late.
Right.
So basically, the Wii U is an HD version of the Wii.
Yeah.
Which it should have come out 2 years prior. They should have just updated it, upgraded it, and been done with it.
Mm-hmm.
But it came out too late in
that console cycle.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I remember the Wii U came out at the same time as the PS4, I think, or right before the PS4 and the Xbox One came out.
Right. Originally, yeah.
Yeah, and you can't compare those two.
No, that's not even close
Right.
to the same.
And now,
And like the innovation of the Wii U is not cool enough of a factor
to make people buy.
buy.
Right.
Like this, unlike
Switch-
the Switch is a totally different ballgame.
I'm telling you, I played on the Switch with a controller, with the system on a kickstand,
Yeah.
and I can play anywhere.
Right.
I don't need a TV. I could be using the bathroom
Right.
and just play on the Switch.
I literally did that before the show.
Right,
before
so
came over.
I can't hold the Switch right now because of my arm injury,
Yeah.
but I can hold the 2-pound
Controller.
controller.
Right.
I can't hold the Switch because it's too heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. That makes
But-
sense.
I can play a game,
Right.
you know, and I haven't even gotten into the whole Switch where like you can drive with it. I didn't realize like it has motion to it.
I'm not playing online Switch with either of you. Al, you bring up a good point that
Did you just not listen to what I said?
what? The Switch has a driving
Did
motion?
you guys hear this? I now I'm being ignored.
I
Whoever's
have to-
listening to this on
Okay,
podcast
you got-
form,
you-
they're gonna say this is the worst episode ever.
Yeah, I can't believe they did a live episode for episode 50 because all they do
We're gonna
is
have
get
like 4
distracted
listens, but anyway. Come on.
distracted by the chat. So yeah, all of the innovations. So you were saying this the Switch has you can draw you can.
It has motion. Yep.
Yeah, I knew that.
I didn't.
Really?
Mm-mm.
You'll get to it, but that gets involved in Breath of the Wild quite a lot.
So we're going away to Vermont this weekend.
Yeah.
Like later in the weekend, we're getting away for a few days, and Carrie said to me, "Hey, is there a way we can play 2-player on the Switch?"
And you're like, yes, there is.
And she's like, "Do they have a Mario Kart game?" I'm like, "Oh my god!" So
Yes, they do.
guess what I'm buying tomorrow?
Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Dude, you should already have it.
Well, yeah. Anyway,
But you know what the best part is? You could let Julia play if you want.
I don't know if I'm ready for her to
Want to play video games?
just embark on that. Like right now, like she's learning so much, and like I'm playing Princess Leia and Barbie, and
Yeah.
okay, top secret, if you're watching this live, you should listen to the podcast because there's going to be a snippet of my 3-year-old daughter telling us,
Hey, it's episode 50.
and she's going to name every single Star Wars character that she loves. She even mentions Jabba the Hutt. It's amazing.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, but think about all of the games that started on Nintendo and branched off. Like one of my favorite games of all time is Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
Mm-hmm.
That wouldn't have happened on the PlayStation if it wasn't for Nintendo
Right.
and the original one. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah, it's pretty special. And, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, I have a few just nostalgic memories with Nintendo products that
Sure.
I'd like to ramble through if you don't mind me.
No.
Going off on some tangents.
No.
So, a lot of my fondest memories, well, not a lot of, but some of my fondest memories are from my childhood, are involved Nintendo products. So I had the brick Game Boy, and then when the Game Boy Color came out, I asked for it for Christmas and got a Game Boy Color.
Of course you did, because you were spoiled rotten.
I was spoiled rotten. So I don't think a Game Boy Color is a big ask though. That wasn't that.
Back in the day, it was like $200, dude.
Really?
Yeah. Like,
No,
dude,
I thought
I
it was
feel
like
so
$80.
like what I really feel bad for is your sister because like she got the raw end of the stick. You got everything. She got nothing.
She got things she asked for.
No, she didn't.
She was just younger than me.
No, they were like, we spent all of our money on Nick. You're not getting anything.
She. She's about to blow up.
I know. That's why I did it. Anyway.
So I had the Game Boy Color, but I didn't just have the Game Boy Color. I had this ugly yellow colored satchel that I carried around that had my Game Boy Color in it, plus all the accessories I had for it in every single game, like for the Game Boy. So I had like I don't know how many games. I had like the light thingy that would come over the top.
But it wasn't. No, it wasn't a yellow. It was a yellow fanny pack.
No, it was a satchel.
Yeah, your fanny pack.
It was a purse, basically. It was a yellow Game Boy purse. So I remember going to like a doctor's appointment or something,
Sure.
and like, having to wait in the waiting room and bringing my whole kit with me of Game Boy stuff, and then being pissed off that I didn't have any extra AA batteries because the Game Boy died.
Mm-hmm.
Then I already talked about the GameCube not having violent games. I think I told this story before, but when I was 12, at that retreat, like the business conference in Mount Washington, I entered the quote-unquote teen video game contest, and I won a Game Boy Advanced SP.
Yeah, you told us before.
Which was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Playing Nintendogs on the DS like religiously when we first got it, because that was like the only game I had for it.
Right.
And then playing like a bunch of the Wii Fit and Wii Sports games and like smacking the tennis balls around and almost flinging controllers into TVs.
Sure.
And then like I don't remember the names of them. There was a bunch of dancing games you could do with the Wii too. There was like I don't know, Just Dance and like you have to like match the controllers around and doing all kinds of stupid things. But so I skipped the Wii U and I have the Switch now. But another fond memory is I had the GameCube, right? And I had Legend of Zelda Wind Waker. But I wasn't very good at it and I couldn't figure out how to like beat the game properly. So my older cousin Danny, shout out to Danny. He slept over to like quote unquote babysit me while my parents were away, but we were basically the same age, so it was just us fucking around playing video games basically. So he and I stayed up almost all night to beat the entirety of Wind Waker, and he was playing because he was older than me and actually knew how to beat the game. And we stayed up almost all night and into the next day and beat the whole of Wind Waker in like 16 or 20 hours or something over 2 days. And for breakfast, we ate an entire tub from Big Y of chocolate chip cookies and a half a gallon of milk for breakfast the following morning. That's what happens when you leave like a 10 and 12-year-old home alone. Or I don't remember how old we were, but it was awesome. Also, I remember, so I would go over to my neighbor's house after school, and they had a Super Nintendo and a Sega Genesis. And we would play all kinds of games on those, obviously. But I would be terrible at Super Mario World 3, and my neighbor Paul would be a lot better at it. Do you remember the game Zombies Ate My Neighbors? That was cool. It was like a top-down shooting game, basically. But you shoot the zombies, and you had you could get like a weed whacker,
right,
and chop them up and stuff.
We come from a different time in Nintendo.
Yeah.
And that's what's special. Like, you're more GameCube, N64. I'm regular Nintendo, Super Nintendo, N64.
Yeah. So I'm like I have like GameCube Plus, but I have a lot of stuff from the Super Nintendo.
Did you ever get rid of your GameCube?
No, I still have it in the basement.
We should totally break that thing out and play Super Smash Brothers.
We should. I have Smash Brothers for the Switch.
I know, but we should. No, it's
better back in for the
original.
Melee.
Anyway, so my point is, Nick, we just celebrated 50 episodes.
Yes.
Talked about the game system that brought us to today, essentially.
Yep.
Or the company, I shouldn't say.
Yeah, the game company that brought us to where we are today.
Yeah.
It was
pretty
great.
Sweet, man.
It was great.
Cheers to 50.
Cheers to 50.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
What are you guys talking about in here?
Find out next episode of
Working Class Nerds.